Sagittarius, how are we today? Just doing our weekly readings, checking out what you need to know for the week. Obviously, I've been away for the last few couple of weekly readings, but there is quite a few all signs videos. You can go back and check those out, especially the shadow work for the full moon. Quite a lot of important messages during that one as well. Please subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with all of those readings. This week we have the Spirit of the Animal Oracle here for you. We also have the Modern Lenormand, and then looking at love this week with the Romantic Fairy Love Oracle. Okay, Sagittarius. So getting into it for you, Sagittarius, I do want to mention with the Spirit of the Animal cards, they really like it when you use your own intuition. So if you do think, if anything pops in your head when we see your animal this week, if you know certain traits, behaviors, environments, colors associated with that animal that do sort of feel relevant to you, make sure you listen to that as well. Take it on board. Okay, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, what does Sagittarius need to know, please? Squirrel energy, Sagittarius. Squirrels. We don't have squirrels here in Australia. I really wish we did because I really love squirrels. I feel like maybe this has come out for someone already. I can't recall which sign that was, if it has. It may have been, I don't know if it was actually squirrels. It may have been something very similar. But it's quite interesting because maybe it was in a personal reading. I can't recall. Always prepared. This is preparation energy. Preparing for winter. Okay, collecting those nuts. Ooh, Sagittarius, collecting those nuts. For some reason that just popped into my head as like collecting a group of people who are all a little bit like nutty, like eccentric or artistic, or some certain grouping of nuts that you're collecting, and like you're collecting this group of people to sort of see you through because you need that or something. I don't know exactly what that message is talking about. It does say you are the expert of hard work and hard play. Your cheerful and fun disposition is a blessing to everyone. Don't let life's distractions take you off course. Make a plan for the future, and life will give you all that you need. All right. And I want to say, as you need it. All right. That as long as you're, planning forward, you're thinking forwards rather than allowing yourself to get stuck in the past or stuck in right now, what's going on in the mundane day to day. Have an idea of where you're going in the future. And, life, even if you're not 100% prepared, life has a way of giving you what you need when you need it. And I feel like that's sort of what's happening for you this week. It could definitely be, putting things away for a rainy day, whether it be money and things like that. I do feel that this may actually be very linked up with money for a lot of you here. Preparing for the future in some kind of way. Preparing, it's this energy of, even if right now you're single and childless, but someday you want to have a partner and children, you're starting to think about that now and starting to put money away now, so that when you do have a partner and children, that you've already got a head start on, being able to afford to buy all the things that you need for the child. all that sort of stuff. You're starting, for some of you, I am picking up things like putting money into, investment portfolios and things like that. Preparing for the future. Superannuation is coming through as well. I'm getting for a lot of you, this is some sort of financial preparation for a lot of you. We do also see the little birds here as well. You can see the squirrel in the back there, but we do have the little birds here as well. And the birds in the Lenormand do talk about conversations and sometimes advice and advisors. So I am picking up these little birds as like maybe, like some sort of financial advice, talking to people about, oh, how do I prepare for what might happen in the future, that sort of stuff. So it's like, how do I prepare for, making sure that my children are taken care of if something were to happen to me, so that those sorts of preparations as well. Talking to somebody maybe about those sorts of things, getting some sort of, advisor or something like that, some sort of future planner, some advice for the future for some of you as well. Okay, Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to know, please? What does Sagittarius need to know, please? For some of you, I am just getting that you're sort of just talking things through with your partner and preparing with a partner or a family member for the future. I do want to show you at the bottom of the deck, the hidden energy. We do have the sun. So some personal revelations, some things coming to light within you yourself of, things that you really actually want to make sure you've got those sorted in advance, that you are prepared for, those eventualities and those sorts of things. So like, we are all going to die at the end of the day. So maybe that's what that's about. You're having this personal revelation that, everyone dies. Maybe I want to make sure I'm prepared. And what would I want in order to be prepared for that sort of stuff. So I'm really getting that sort of energy coming through for you here. But ultimately happiness, okay? Happiness at the end of the day. At the bottom of it all, at the center of you yourself, Sagittarius, happiness, okay? We do see you very very structured and deep in thought. So you really are like preparing for the future here this week. Firstly, we have the fox doing what needs to be done. The fox is very focused on survival, being very intelligent and rational, logical about what needs to be done. And I've got to do whatever I need to do to get it done, to make sure we're looked after, to make sure that we will, survive. Being clever about the future, using your wits to make sure things are taken care of. It's definitely a focus on survival with that fox energy here. I'm also picking up a lot of independence here as well. So it's kind of like you're wanting to make sure that for some of you here, it's very much like this independent energy of, really making sure that no matter what happens in the future, you are taken care of, you yourself. You're very, even if you're isolated from every single person that you want to make sure that you yourself are taken care of in some way, shape, or form here. So this definitely could be like prenuptial agreement type stuff for someone here as well. Maybe, having that advisor where you are talking through those sorts of things. We don't want to think about those things, but we're preparing for any eventuality, not just the positive ones. We do see the tower coming through there as well. So the tower does have a lot of isolation within it. So you may be sort of just really reaching out to make sure you yourself are very secure here. But I do feel it's not so much it's isolation. It's like you're building a strong foundation within you yourself for yourself. And once again, that may for you in particular, that may actually end up being you yourself plus whatever children I end up having or whatever it is here. But the tower can also be very structured, very, regimented energy, very, strong and tall. And it can actually be like governmental type buildings, authority type places, so an official, official organizations. So that may be where the advisory is coming in for you here as well, that you're maybe following some sort of very regimented, official type structure here. When it comes to what's going on for you this week in how you're taking care of yourself. So, for some of you, once again, it's the prenuptial agreements. It's maybe writing your own will, thinking about those sorts of things, even if you're not actually going ahead and doing them yet. You're very much, thinking about them. They are on your thoughts. If nothing else, they're deep in your thoughts here with the clouds. Okay, the clouds does talk about our thoughts. You're actually kind of using your deepest fears about the future to make sure you're covered, make sure you've got that foundation made, so that no matter what happens in the future, no matter which direction, because you're kind of overthinking it, to be honest. But it's kind of in a good way for you this week, Sagittarius, because you're thinking about every single possible outcome. You're not just thinking about, all the negative outcomes. You're thinking about, any and every potential outcome here. So, in the example of like a prenup, you're really thinking about what happens if we break up, but you're also thinking and taking on board about what happens if we stay together and we have children, and then this happens and then that happens, and we grow old together. What happens if we're 80 and we need that prenup to come into play? What happens if one of us dies? You're thinking it all through, all possibles, positive and negative. I'm not really getting it's coming through very neutral thought. So it's like you're just thinking everything through, not just like you're really making sure you've got all the fine details covered here, with whatever this is. For some of you, you can see here that this particular tower, it's a lighthouse. So you are just really, for a lot of you, are just coming up with some sort of official guidelines for your own future. And that's what the thoughts are all about. And you're being very logical and rational about, being prepared for the future here once again, and you're looking out, you're looking forward, you're guiding, you're making a guiding light, like a plan for the future here. Something that, this is the structure that we're putting in place. So we know exactly what to do, where to go. We know that we're not going to go too close to the rocks because we've got our lighthouse shining out that light. And then we do actually see this leading you into the crossroads. Okay, so it's actually leading you into making those decisions and then putting those things into place, actually following this path. So, for a lot of you, I feel like you're in the planning kind of stage where you are sort of preparing for all these different crossroads that you could walk. What if I go up here? I need to make sure I think that through. What if I go this way? Then I need to really plan out that. You're planning for all those different eventualities. And then you're sort of making the decisions about, hang on, well, which way am I actually going here? So you're sort of putting things into place and making those choices and making those decisions about where your future is taking you. And for some of you, it's kind of like, I'm preparing for these things, and it makes me realize that, I feel like for a lot of you, there's all in amongst all this thought process this week, there's this thing where it's like, well, if that's a possibility, I'm going to do everything that I can to, choose the other path. So if I'm looking, if I'm making plans for 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and I'm needing to consider this potential outcome, I'm going to do, I'm making choices now that are avoiding those negative outcomes in the future. So the preparation is actually leading you to the more, more likely to the potential positive outcomes here, because you then are structuring the choices that you're making right now into steering clear of all these potential bad things happening in the future. So you're avoiding the bad stuff from popping up, because you're starting to make better choices in the here and the now, because you're prepared. If that kind of makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But like I said, at the bottom of it all, it's all coming from happiness and just revealing to yourself exactly where I'm wanting to go in the future here, and how I'm going to make it happen, and how I'm preparing for that. Making sure I'm prepared for all eventualities, but then I also know, which choices to make to steer clear from certain eventualities. All right. Looking at love and romance for you, Sagittarius. Bit of a deep week this week for you. A lot on your mind there. I think that all the fire signs have had that clouds energy coming through. So very, a lot of you up in your heads this week. Sagittarius. Sagittarius, love and romance for Sagittarius, please. Interesting. So we do have, these two have both come out. We have forgiveness as well as let go of the past. So for a lot of you, I feel like this may actually be what's sort of spurring you into this preparation energy, because you're like, well, that's it. I'm going to let go of these things that are not part of that path that I want. So I'm making the choice to, let go of those things that are not taking me to where I'm preparing myself to go here. So we have clear your energy to allow more love into your life. So letting go of the past so that you can actually, make better choices, move down better pathways for yourself here. Forgiveness, it says, allow healing waters to wash away the pain of the past. So, you're moving forward and doing it in a very structured kind of way. We also have workplace romance. Common cause, connection. So whether that's through your job or because of this advisory thing, some of you, because the Tower is an organization type energy and very structured energy, I do feel that for some of you, this may be somebody else's workplace that you're finding this connection with this person. So you're letting go of the past and you're moving towards preparing for the future this week. And it may actually lead you to start to let love in by finding some similarities and some things that you both have in common, whether it be, through somebody's work or otherwise. I feel like it's more to do with, you getting your work done, and that's the way that's the schedule. Forgiveness, letting go of that past, so that that's the next job on the list, is to start letting love in and find people that I do have strong connections with and things in common with. All right, Sagittarius. So that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all again soon.